Hello everyone, my name is Brandy and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to correctly transfer someone from a bed to a wheelchair. This may sound like something that is simple, but it's not. In fact, it could be very complex. You have to make sure that you remember a lot of rules, like for instance, safety, which could be for you and also for your patient. Make sure that you remember privacy and also any other policies that the building that you're working in may have. Once you have all that information down, you could go ahead and go into your patient's room, knock on their door. When you go in, make sure that the patient who you're going to be transferring is the correct one. You can identify them by looking at their wristband, making sure that the name is the same as in your file. You could ask them to state their name if they are aware of it, and also look on the door, should say their name as well. Once you are sure that it is the patient that you are supposed to be working on, you can then begin the procedure. The first thing that you want to do once you start is lay the head of the bed up into a 45 to 90 degree angle. Then after that, you're going to want to lower the bed all the way to the ground. Make sure that it is then locked. Once you have it locked, you may go and make sure that the wheelchair is also locked. You want to have the wheelchair as close as you can to the bed so that it is easier for your client to get up and move less. Once you have both of them locked, which is a very important safety factor, then you can turn your client onto the side. Make sure that you explain to them how you're going to do it. Maybe it's by counting off, or maybe it's by them counting off. Once you know how to do it, you can count off and turn them onto the edge of the bed so that their feet lay flat on the floor. Once their feet are flat on the floor, if they need more clothing, you may put it on them. If not, make sure that they have slippers on. Usually in a lot of nursing homes and facilities, they have non-stick ones also for safety, because you wouldn't want anybody to fall in the process of getting them into the wheelchair. Once you have everything like that on, you would use a gait belt or a lifting belt, also is what it's called. You would wrap it around their waist and make sure that it is tight enough to only fit about 2 fingers in between the belt and the body of the skin. Once you have it tight enough, the next thing you're going to want to do is very carefully explain the procedure of what you're going to do next, and also help demonstrate it. For instance, the client should put their hands on your shoulders, and you should put your hands on the belt. And then count off, and then once you count off, you're going to explain to your client that you're going to be picking them up, and they're going to be trying to lift themselves up, and then you're going to turn and then sit them into the wheelchair where they belong. Once you have explained so and even showed them where to place their hands and where you're going to place their hands, once they're comfortable with it, you could go ahead and count off. Usually it's going to be a 3, 2, 1. Once you do that, lift them. Be very careful. If they are too heavy for you to lift by yourself, you should get another person to help you, whether it is a coworker, maybe a different nurse, or even a doctor or somebody else that is around that is trained to do it. Once you are ready with yourself or with a partner, lift them up on the count of 3. Once you have them up, make sure that they are steady enough. You're going to turn them, or pivot them is another word for it, to the side. And once they are to the side, you may sit them down carefully in the wheelchair. Once they are sitting down in the wheelchair, you can make sure that they are comfortable. If they have any pain, make sure that you record it and let a doctor know right away. Excuse me. And you could give them a blanket if they want. Make sure that you take the gait belt off or the transfer belt off of them now, because they will no longer be needing it. You could unlock their wheels, make sure that they are okay, give them their call bell, which is very important, just in case they need something later on or want to move back in bed later on. After you have done that, you can go into your file with your patient's name and information and record that you have done that, and any problems or comments that you may have to write or that you wish to write to inform the doctors and anyone else. Once you have done that, you may take all of your equipment, put it away where it belongs, and wash your hands, and then that should be it. After that, after everything's documented, that's all you have to do to successfully transfer your client from their bed to their wheelchair. And just always remember to follow the policies and be very safe about it because you would never want to hurt yourself or any of your patients. Thank you.